Hey everyone, I'm actually on tour just now with Alan Cumming, and I'm actually having a night off. It's been quite an intensive 2 days with travel and long rehearsals on Monday, cold weather, chapping lips, etc. It's winter here in the UK, and one of the things that I did yesterday, because I don't get a chance to travel down to London, where there are a couple of fantastic music shops, was go and try out some trumpets. I put some stuff on Instagram and it's also on Facebook, and I might try and get that stuff together for the channel too. So there's no play in this video whatsoever. It is just chat. You can see my lovely I think I mean 5-star hotel room behind me. Very rarely do we get the chance to be taken care of at a fantastic level. So thanks very much to Alan's management and the tour and everything as well. It's fantastic to get asked to be a part of something like this. It's such a different musical experience and gig experience to anything else that I do, which I have done before with Alan and the team. It's a crazy orchestration of Mr. Coming at the front, piano MD, drums, cello, and trumpet, and the interweaving of the arrangements and the energy on stage is spectacular. Anyway, so down to the point of this video, and trumpets. That's what I do. Trumpet player, as most of you know. Um, so I had the chance to go to two shops in London, one of which is Prozone Music and the other one is Phil Parker's. Prozone is actually a relatively new venture in the UK. I couldn't tell you when they started, but they've been around for a while now. But they have really cemented themselves as being one of the go-to places for not only high-end equipment, but knowledgeable input from their staff, and um, just a really great experience for brass players, not just trumpet players, and wind players as well, but saxophones, trumpets, trombones, and all accessories and everything else. I'm not affiliated with them, and there is no commission for singing their praises. So the other place, Phil Parker's, now they have been around for such a long time in the UK. Sorry, in London, which is in the UK, England, and they've recently moved shop to a fantastic place just near the Barbican. It's a really, really, really great shop. The layout is really well thought out. They've got a lovely room for trying instruments out, and both these shops are really, really accommodating. I turned up unannounced pretty much to both of them. I did send an email to Prozone just before Christmas, but again they didn't know whether they were going to turn up or not. So but both shops let me try the instruments that I was looking for, and luckily enough, they both had the instruments that I was interested in. So what I wanted to try at Prozone was a Shilke X3 that they had in stock, and the reason why I was looking for that particular horn was I wanted something with a similar sound to my B1 that I use for everything as my go-to horn, but also that had a little bit more breadth to the sound and wasn't quite so focused. Sometimes I feel that when I am on it with the B1, the sound becomes a little bit tiring. That again, that's probably I always say this a perspective on my playing and how I perceive my sound, but I think it's relevant to the chat and what we talk about with our instruments and the perpetual gear and mouthpiece hunt. And they actually had a used X3 and a brand new X3, and they were phenomenal instruments in comparison to the B1. They were both slightly different actually. I think the used X3 could have done a little bit of service, valve alignment was out, and the brand new X3 was sublime. It was great. It highlighted in the B1 why it is such a focused sound, and it's such a dominant sound, particularly in the way that I play. I do feel as though I not muscle the horn, but I think I push the horn to its boundaries. I wouldn't say limits. I think that's a different thing entirely. Um, and it's a negative component of playing that sometimes we do when we're overblowing. I don't think that's what I do, but I certainly do. I think I fill the horn to its most, my B1, and it was nice to have the experience of the X3, which is a large bore. It's not a step bore, the same as the B1, but it has the same bell. And there's a lot of properties of it that I really, really, really enjoyed. So then I went on to Parker's music, and Parker's are actually a Shilky specialist, and the point of these two visits were to actually look at the Shilky trumpets, because I really do enjoy the Shilkies. For all that I've got Bach 37, this bit of kind of stunt horn, which is a shame. It's a really, really nice Bach 37 actually from the mid 80s, and it blows lovely. And to think of it as like being like the stunt horn that goes to the ropey gigs or the pub gigs or the outside gigs and things, it's an absolute shame, because it's a beautiful instrument. But yeah, it's not in the best of shape, but it's perfectly playable. Then I've obviously got the Vindobona that I could wax lyrical about all night. And then there's a project horn that you all know about as well, which is the Backstrat 25G, which we'll see how that develops. It's getting its number 6 lead pipe on just now. And I'll be spending some time with that when I get back up the road from this tour. So at Parker's Music, I had the option of comparing another brand new X3, a brand new S42, which is medium bore. It wasn't the HD model, but it was obviously the brace lead pipe with the number two bell. Sorry, an S33 HD, which is the medium large version with the 3 bell, and is that right? Probably. And then they also had, oh yeah, the brand new X3. So blowing through them, they're all phenomenal, and I think my good friend Ewan Mains, I shared some footage with him as well, and I think that the X3 really, really stood out again. It was great. Now, this isn't about what horns I'm going to be trying and buying or anything. Well, it kind of is, but it's not. It's not about what I'm going to be buying. It's not. It's like I reviewed this horn and I'm going to do this. So towards the end of my tryout at Parker's, they had a Shilky HC2, which HC stands for handcraft. I believe the HC1 is, I want to say, a yellow brass bell, and there's a few other components that are different. I think it's still an extra large horn. I definitely know that the HC2 is an extra large bore, certainly the block. So on the Shilky horns, you've got obviously medium. I can't remember the bore sizes specifically. I think it's 458. Medium large, which is 460, which is what the B1 is, and B2. And then you've also got the large bore horns, which are 0.463. And then you've got the XLs, which I believe are maybe 0.470 or 0.468. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a long day, travel day. Anyway, and the HC2 has also got the copper bell, and it's a huge flare on it. It's sublime to look at, and it's got beautiful engraving on it too. So just at the end of my tryout, and I went and tried this horn, and to be honest, it blew me away. In terms of thinking about a B horn to the B1, or a secondary horn, or a backup horn. No, not a backup horn, because it's not about that. I wanted something with different colour, like I said, more of a breadth to it. And this trumpet was just phenomenal. I mean, it took me back to like my Monet days and things in terms of the lyricism of it, and the colour from the copper bell, etc. And I instantly fell in love with it, and I knew for a fact it was well out of my price range. It's £3,800 at Parker's. I think Prozone are actually a little bit cheaper on their website at £3,500. Regardless, this is loads of money. And then it got me to thinking, and this is actually the point of this video. It's not about the horns that I reviewed and all the intricacies and tonalities of them, and etc., and what you could use them for, blah blah blah. And you know, we may get around to doing that at some point. What it did get me thinking about was, where is too much money too much money? How do you justify spending £4,000 on a trumpet? And one of the perfect arguments that brings it back to the 37 Strad that I've got. Now, I've never really got on that well with the 37 Strad. It can do lots very, very well, and there are people who do amazing things with Strads, particularly the 37 and the 43. So I mean, you've only got to look at Jerry Hay. Historically, he played a Strad 37. More recently, Tom Walsh plays a 37. Ryan Quigley plays a 43. Lee Dowdeswell started off on a 43G Star, slightly different beast, but and yeah, they are all Strads, and it's not about the comparison between Strads and Shilkies by any means. And to be honest, if you're going to buy a brand new Strad, you're still looking at over £3,000. And then you've got the realms of Carol Brass and Jupiter, specifically citing the Ingram XO model. You know, and they're not £3,000, £4,000. And it's really curious because I could probably only sell my Strad 37 for, if I'm lucky, £600 or £700. But it'd still be a great horn. So why should I go out and spend £4,000 on something because it's nice? What is the point? There's probably no answer to this question, to be honest, and it comes down to, if you have the funds and you want to reward yourself with that, then go for it, you know? It also got me thinking, it's like, if I'm going to be spending £4,000 on a trumpet, and I'd mentioned my Manette before, I'm in absolute love with my AR Resonance mouthpieces. Slight aside here, when I was at Parker's, they actually had 2 Lotus trumpets in. Didn't really feel the need or want to go and try one. I tried some Lotus mouthpieces and it was kind of like, eh. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I would be interested in trying is an AR Resonance mouthpiece. Trumpet. And I think if I'm going to be spending that type of money on a horn for me, and it really probably would be only for me, and maybe this is what it comes back to in terms of the justification of spending that amount of money on an instrument. Is it that midlife crisis thing? Is it having that disposable income where, for the sheer hell of it, you go out and you buy, I don't know, like an absolutely crazy sports car, or you buy a £4,000 watch. You could buy a Casio watch in the UK that looks like something from the 1980s for like 15 quid from Argos, or you could go and buy like a Rolex Submariner for like £3,000. They both still tell the time. There's no difference there at the time, but the Casio might even be more accurate. So I suppose that's kind of this nutshell in a video. No, that's this video in a nutshell. Why should we do that? Is it the reward? The one thing that I will say in the defence of the bespoke instruments, or the high-end instruments, and I don't think Shilky are bespoke instruments, but to compare even the B1 and the Handcraft 2, or the HC2, the B1 can be traced all the way back to the cities. When Reynolds Shilky made that trumpet, it hasn't changed one iota. Maybe in terms of some of the machining and the soldering things, but the bell flare, the valve block, the lead pipe, all the components of an instrument that make it the trumpet, they haven't really changed at all. The Handcraft 2, or the HC2 as it's marketed, is a modern day reference of the Martin Committee, the large bore Martin Committee that everybody wants. I've never played one, and if that's the closest I get to ever playing one and it plays like that, then hell man, I would, if I had the money, I would buy one of them. Would it be usable in the type of work that I do? I'm not entirely sure that it would, but is that joy to play? It so is. kind of like my Vindabona is. And it actually made me think, it's like, well, why would I still need the Vindabona? The reason why I keep the Vindabona is because it's toured the world with me. I've done so much with it. I did my tour of America with the Scottish National Jazz Orchestra with it. It was one of the first horns that really spoke to me. And I think that investing that type of money in something, it's not the type of thing that you're going to sell on 18 months down the line. And it's a really, really important decision. So maybe in terms of like the Rolex or the sports car, then it's that thing that really, really speaks to you. So I suppose to like to wind this video down, it's like I really want a handcraft 2 or an HC2. That I think that's what I want. But I'm not going to get one without trying an AR resonance trumpet first. And I suppose being grateful to have whatever instrument you have is a very, very important thing. And if you can make the sound that you hear in your head on that instrument, regardless of its cost and quality or how old it is or how new it is, that's a huge thing. And I think that's part of the journey as well. There's so many horns out there that we could rattle through that are fantastic horns. But the justification of spending £4,000 on an instrument, you've got to really, really connect with that guy, haven't you? So, yeah, thanks for paying attention and watching this rambling thing for almost 16:39 seconds of chat. But have a think about that, folks. You know, it's like, address the equipment you've got. I love the fact that Chris Botti has been on his, I think it's actually a Martin committee, ironically, all of his days. And he's learned that instrument inside out, and he does his stuff on that instrument all the way through his career, and it's what he still plays. So I suppose learn your instrument inside out, and if you're going looking for something else, and maybe it will cost £4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000, make sure you want it and it's not just a whim, because that's a huge chunk of money and you will never get it back unless for some reason it's some really, really bizarre unicorn of a trumpet that goes up in price, like one of the early MF horns, etc., that Holton made, blah blah blah. But yeah, that's it. Rambling over. I'm going to go get dinner now. I'm not at dinner yet. I'm on tour, so I can't cook for myself. So I'm going to try and find something really nice. It's going to be curry. I know it's going to be curry. Okay, folks. Thanks for watching. I'm out here. Bye bye.